My name is William Shu. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about how you placed in the competition and just your thoughts and feelings around that.
I got first place in the middle category, and I'm like obviously pretty satisfied about that because it's like, I mean, like that's the best I could do in my category, and like, I mean, I worked pretty hard to do it, and I was just like pretty satisfied with what happened. Yeah. So yeah.
Now, obviously, this is a competition, so compare your piece to the others that you've heard throughout the competition and your own skills, and maybe why you think you got this placement.
So like I feel like my piece compared to some of the other competitors, my piece was like longer and it was also more like it was more like a slower pace and it's more like atmospheric. And like I think some other people like they were like their pace was a lot faster and like it was just like a lot more like 16th notes and it's just like I feel like I did well because I was able to execute like the tone of notes and like execute like the specific like nuances and dynamics of like some of the notes I was playing.
And so is that kind of the style that you prefer as well? Because I've heard some of your other peers and they say that they want to learn how to play faster. But it seems like you kind of want mastery over, setting the tone and really holding control of the notes that you're playing and not have to put a lot down, but put a few meaningful ones down. Kind of what makes music important to you? What stands out to music to you?
Well, I like being able to shape tones and like being able to like the specific like nuances and like being able to not slow. Like sometimes slow gets a little bit like monotonous and boring, but like being able to just like not like tonal and like just being able to shape melodies over like time and like effective and like slow harmony.
Yeah. And when it comes to also, obviously this is a cultural event, right? We're at the Chinese Community Center. Talk me about the historical significance of your piece, if you can recall that.
Well, it's intended to emulate like the sounds of a Peking opera and like the percussive aspects and like the like Chinese instruments like erhu. So in that aspect, I think it's different. It's very different from like the pieces like the romantic or like classical pieces I usually play because it's like there's a lot of like atonal aspects and there's a lot of parts where it just deviates from what I would normally expect and like a lot of dissonances.
And now looking to your goals for maybe this year here or the years to come, talk to me about, your skill set and maybe other competitions and what you are looking forward to surpassing.
So like my favorite composer is Chopin. So like I think my goal is to just learn his Ballade 4 by the end of this year and use it in the Chopin competition in September. And like in terms of skill set, it would just like being able to master that like loud tone, like the loud and like bold tone. And then also being able to like control tempo and like just a lot of like being able to control my pace and like control my music a little bit better.
And now when I think of kids your age, I'm thinking of things like TikTok and social media and definitely a more electronic music world compared to this more classical and real instruments, right? Yeah. So what makes that stand out to you or why you really held on to this and how do you compare this to other kids your age and what they're into, what you see in the classroom?
There's a lot of people that find interest in like pop music and like rock music and like heavy metal, and there's also like I have some friends that also create music, and it's interesting because there's a lot of things that go on in our world, and it's like with social media there's a lot of diversity and everybody's feed is like catered to what their interests, so it's like it promotes like a diversity of like styles and ideas. So in that aspect I think it's like very like cool and like really like the diversity is like amazing in a lot of ways, right? But like in terms of classical music, like I obviously think it's like the best form, like the best type of music because like there's a lot of melodies you can shape and it's like complex. Okay. So in that manner, like I really enjoy classical music. So yeah.